following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
This is Bobby Lashley. You're listening to Trash Talking Radio, 7 to 10 every Tuesday night.
And during the few moments that we have left, we wanted to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
Tuesday night from 7 to 10, if you don't listen to Trash Talking Radio on TrashTalkingRadio.com, you will feel the wrath and the fury. This is Roger Strong. You're listening to TrashTalkingRadio.com from 7 to 10 Tuesday night. ايوه سمير احمد الثاني. انا مع تراش توكينج راديو يوم الثلاث الساعه 7 للساعه 10 كل يوم ثلاث. TrashTalkingRadio.com. Hey, this is Maddie Neidhart coming at you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and you're listening to TrashTalkingRadio.com every Tuesday from 7 to 10.
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. Remember this, Vital Idol tells you it's got to be true, and when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am Top of Pop, the king of swing, the international rock star, way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, classic by Trash. Thank you very much.
This is the Latina sensation Mercedes Martinez talking to you at My Papi Chulo, Mike the Trash Talking Radio, Tuesdays from 7 to 10. Mwah. Have a good one, ladies.
Yo, this is New Jack, and you listen to Trash Talk Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. If you ain't listening to it, you ain't real. If you ain't real, you're a bitch. This is from the original case, OG style, baby. I do it like I want to do it, the way I want to do it, when I want to do it, believe me. Hey, this is Chris Jericho, the sexy beast of the WWE. I'm the lead singer of Fozzy, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday night from 7 to 10 p.m. and also available on the World Wide Web at www.trashtalkingradio.com. Don't miss it, ass clown.
Welcome to the Trash Talking Radio show. Please take a seat and help yourself to the snacks and beverages. The show will begin in just a few seconds. Are you ready? Are you seated? Please welcome your host. He is the singer/songwriter of the Uncle Sam Band. He is the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, every woman's fantasy. He is the manager of champions, singer of songs, an actor without a script, lover of life. He is a Tesla driving, song singing, talk show hosting, son of a gun. Please welcome the Vital Idol, classy, Mike Trash. Hey, do I get paid for this?
It is the Trash Talking Radio show. We're a little bit late because I had all kinds of technical issues I don't usually have, so yeah, first time in a while that I've had these issues. So, and now I'm having streaming issues thanks to Comcast, I believe. I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm here. Hello, Jen. Hello, Trish. Hello, world. Welcome to the show. I'm not even moving. Yeah, I am moving up there. Okay, just making sure. I repositioned the cameras and all kinds of strange things happening, and just kind of weird that I couldn't get things working right. But hey, I'm here now. So there. And that was interesting that this is an interesting day because we found out something, the big trial and everything. And I'm really far away, aren't I? Okay, let's move a little closer there. There we go. Our cameraman's paying attention. And we can even move closer. Look, watch. There we go. Huh. Pretty cool, huh? So we can do all kinds of fun things like that. Oh, no, don't tell me you don't have any sound. That's what I was having problems with a while ago. Is there no sound? You hearing nothing? That's a big problem if there's no sound. Let me see. It says that there's sound. It says my system is saying there's sound. I don't know. I guess I gotta let's check with my phone and make sure there is sound, because I don't know what's going on here. I can hear you moving around. Oh, but I don't hear any audio. What's going on? Oh, don't tell me this isn't working. Okay, let me see. They changed some things, so let me find out. I'm going to see if I'm here or not. Oh, that's not it. Nope, that's not what we want. No, where is it? They changed some of the settings, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you're getting sound. It shows that it's recording sound. I don't know what is going on there. Let me keep looking. Oh, geez, I don't know how do I do this? I'm scrolling. I'm trying to figure it out. Bear with me. I don't know what's going on. Alright, let's see. Where's my pages? I don't know. I don't know where it's at. Okay. Alright, now. Alright, that's not working. Alright, oh, there it is.
I don't hear any audio.
Okay,
What's going on?
I hear me. So what's going on with that? You're not hearing anything.
Right, that's not working.
Use a second.
Oh, there it is. I don't hear any audio.
Okay.
What's going on? I hear me.
That's weird.
So what's going on?
Alright, so you guys can or cannot hear me? That's the question.
So,
Now I'm getting some echo because I'm listening to myself. That's egotistical, isn't it? Anyway, you can hear me. Okay. Now I wonder if Jen can hear me. Alright. Second live stream. Okay. Yeah, it should all work because they're all based on the same stream. But I've been having all kinds of technical issues. They just changed everything around. They changed it around. They eliminated the watch party, which I was using, and they changed things around. So I don't know what's working, what's not working, what makes it work, what doesn't make it work, and all that stuff. So it's crazy. I keep thinking that I've got everything under control, and then they change the way that they do everything, and then I don't. So, okay. Let's get things rolling. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. Of course you can't hear me. I apologize, because you can't hear me. So, yeah, I got a bunch of weird things to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is where I put my notes. Let's see. Oh, I couldn't get my own sound working in the studio, too. That's why I was real late, because I couldn't figure out why the sound wasn't working, but it seemed to be working elsewhere. So, all right. I guess Jen left because she has no sound. All right, let's get things rolling here. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is Cousin It. Cousin It is not it anymore. The Cousin It has died. Felix Silla, or Silla, I don't know, one of the other, also credited as Felix Silla, was an Italian actor and stuntman. He started his career in the circus. He was born in 1937, so he became known for his television and film roles, especially the reoccurring character Cousin It on The Addams Family. He was also an Ewok in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and he was a voice artist in Sims 2. So he did a lot of pretty cool stuff, but he is no longer with us. It says here, became famous, however, as the reoccurring costume character Cousin It on The Addams Family. The character was not part of Charles Addams' original comic, but was introduced in the original black and white series by David Levy. Debuting in 1965, Cousin It visits the Addams Family and appearing in 19 episodes, 17 of which Silla, and 2 with Roger Arroyo. I don't know. Over the course of the show's 2 seasons. Oh, that only lasted 2 seasons. I'm really surprised. I would have thought that went a couple years. I Didn't realize it only went 2. So, the character's voice was usually provided by a studio engineer, Anthony Magro, 1923 to 2004. The character became so popular it was carried over to subsequent licensed media, including film, stage, and video games. He played the hand glider Ewok in the film Return of the Jedi. So he died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 84 in Las Vegas, Nevada. So there you go. He had an official website. Look at this. How do you like that? Wow. That's cool. Hey, his website's nicer than mine. That's pretty nice. But yeah, it's kind of he lived a nice life and did some pretty cool things. So that's one person who died, and the other person who died this week was Walter Mondale. Former Vice President Walter Mondale. He was Vice President from 77 to 81, and I forgot to save the other thing. Let's see, got to give him his due. And put that on too. So I better do this or I'll forget to do this too. So, don't want to forget him. But yeah, I tell you, I like Cousin It. And then I also like the hand, whatever that was called. So that was funny. Weird thing though, my streams on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter are acting weird. Let's take a look and make sure they are working. Oh, I didn't even switch over. That's dummy. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Alright, let's switch over to that. Boom. Okay. And then we do this. There we go. Yeah, now we're playing. Okay, now let's see. I want to check and make sure all the streams are running since I didn't check this time. Oh, where am I? Oh, there I am. Alright, so there's Facebook. I don't know if it's working on Twitch or Twitter. Let's see. There I am. Okay, good. It is working on Twitter. It is on Twitch. That's good. I didn't think it was working on Twitch. Oh, look at this. We've got people in the chat room. Hey! I didn't know that. That has not happened a whole lot. How you guys doing? Let me see. How do we do this? Pop this out so I can keep an eye on you. Look at that. We've got followers and all that stuff. That's a crazy thing. And then we look on, last but not least, I still am running on YouTube. So says something. I don't know what it says. It says something, though. It's way behind, though, because it doesn't even have the other screen yet. But anyway, all right, let me get back to, here we are. Sounds like you need me back. A lot of it, yes, is true. I don't know what's going on. I do know that the issue I had today was not necessarily my issue, but anyway. All right, let's see here. So you want to become famous? Buy followers. Oh yeah, I don't want to buy any followers. I can't afford any followers because nobody follows me. All right, let's do this. All right, we saved him. Got both of them. Oh, what's this? Oh, fun. Oh, you better not do that. Oh, you're going to play fun. Okay, there we go. Okay, close this tab. All right, Walter Mondale. So Mondale was credited with making The Office more relevant. He was Carter's vice president from 77 to 81. He was a U.S. senator from Minnesota, great Minnesota, where Jesse Ventura is from. And says here, during our administration, Fritz used his political skill and personal integrity to transform the vice presidency into a dynamic policy driving force that had never been seen before. So, what's Fritz? Who's Fritz? Who's Fritz? Was he called Fritz? I don't know. Anyway. Says here, Mondale started his career as an activist in Minnesota's Democratic Farmer Labor Party. Then by working on the Hubert Humphrey Senate campaign in 1948, he graduated from the University of Minnesota Law School in 1956 and was state attorney general from 1960 until he was appointed to the Senate in 1964 to finish Humphrey's term. So, yeah, it's fun. So, anyway, all right. By the way, if you haven't seen it, this is kind of cool. Okay, so that's that. We're going on to next stuff. I have some really cool stuff that I've been working on. All right, here we go. Oh, so I've got a couple WWE things. I haven't been talking about WWE a whole lot. Just because, if you want to watch wrestling, you'll watch wrestling. And, I figure that I don't have anything to add to what they do most of the time. But here we go. They just released a whole bunch of people. And here's their... they just had WrestleMania 37, too, which was kind of interesting. So they got a new tagline for the company. Stephanie McMahon is the chief brand officer. She probably got it with sleeping with somebody in the company, but you never know. She issued a letter this morning with the tagline that the company has been using since fans returned to the crowd for WrestleMania 37. Then, now, forever, together. I could probably sell them a song. I wrote that one song today, tomorrow, and yesterday. But never know. But I think it's kind of funny that they, they finally had a chance. Well, I shouldn't say funny. It's a good thing they had a chance to go back and have live audiences. The only problem is with COVID numbers racing up again, it scares me a little bit. So I guess we're going to have to see where we're going to go from here. But it scares me a little bit because the COVID numbers are the COVID numbers. So. She went to tout that 1.1 billion video views from WrestleMania 37 week, along with 31 million hours of content that was consumed, and 115 million engagements with WWE-related content. Stephanie also revealed that WWE superstars and executives participated in more than 300 media interviews to promote WrestleMania 37. It takes a lot of effort, so many different people to make WrestleMania happen. So, I am a fan of WWE. They drive me crazy because of all the things they do. But they have two new shows out that are really cool. And the one show was debuted on Monday night, and it was called Biographies, I believe it was called. Let me see here. I didn't. I should have done this. I didn't do this. So they had a, where's it at? Where are we? Here we go. So WWE, it was the biography.
I didn't have a plan B. Everybody wanted to be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Now this, I watched this last night, and it was really, really good. I loved it. It showed you a different side of Stone Cold, and it really was exciting because you don't get to see the other side of Stone Cold. And you don't see how it all happened, how he became Stone Cold. Now, I know how it happened because I was following it when it happened. But it's actually pretty interesting how he became Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I really liked the video and stuff and all the stuff they were talking about. This is going to be a great show. Next week, they're going to do it again with... who are they doing again? It's on A&E. It's a really cool show. and sign is on this. Oh, where's the and sign? Don't be such a pain. I can't see very well. It's dark in this room. Let's see this here. Here we go. A&E. Sundays at 8 on A&E TV, and they've really got a neat thing going. I love the idea of this show. They have, they doing it next, is that him next week? They're going to do Roddy Piper, Randy Savage, Booker T, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Mick Foley, The Ultimate Warrior. So I am looking forward to seeing it. I think it'll be a fun show, and you have your chance to see a close-up of what these people are all about. Now, unfortunately, a lot of them are dead. Roddy Piper, I think Roddy Piper might be next week. And unless you read his book, you don't really know a whole lot about Roddy Piper. So it's really going to be kind of cool. I hope they show. It. They don't really show it though. And there's so we saw the Stone Cold one. That was kind of cool. They also have another show called WWE's Most Wanted Treasures. That is really a good show. So what they do is they're starting to make WWE like museum, and they got all these things that they had over the years that they're throwing into this, and they are missing some of the artifacts that are key. Like for instance, Mick Foley was the first one, and they were looking for his original Mr. Sacco, and they were looking for his original shirt that he wore out as Mankind. And Mick Foley is going with a couple people to these people's houses who possibly have that artifact, and they're offering them some pretty good money. So I kind of think it's interesting. Okay, what's going on up there? Okay, I was going to say my stream to the mix slowed down, stopped too. So anyway, so it was kind of cool because you got to see the people negotiate their stuff to try to get Mr. Sacco, to try to get the different things, and it's a fun show. So if you want to watch it, it's worth watching. You could probably go to A&E TV to watch the episodes, because I noticed that the Most Wanted is here and it's available to watch, and it looks like Steve Austin is also available to watch. So that is it's worth watching. It really is worth watching, and I enjoyed it tremendously. So, go ahead and after this show, tune in or go to the web and watch it on your TV, and you'll get to see some good shows. The biography, Steve Austin, and the WWE's Most Wanted Treasures, awesome shows. And if you didn't see it, they also are running the Andre the Giant biography too. So that was really that's an old show, but it was really a good show. So yeah. The other thing that is interesting is that I just watched, Stone Cold has a show called, what's it called? It is called, they have it on every week. Hold on. Gotta look it up. I forget the name of it. It is, what is his freaking show called? I know what I'm gonna do. Stone. I wasn't planning on talking about this, that's why I don't have it. There we go. There we go. Go to his Wikipedia and we'll know what it's called then. All right. It is called, where's it at? Stone Cold's, Steve Austin's Broken Skull, no? What is it? Straight Up with Steve Austin, that's what it is. So, on that show, they just had on, I can't believe they had it on, because WWE doesn't usually allow things that are not WWE on, but they had on AEW's Chris Jericho. And I thought that was interesting because he was the first non-WWE person to be on that show. Awesome show. So, yeah, I would say go see that too, because, you know, he gets to bring a non-WWE guy, and they talk about things that are non-WWE. They actually talk about AEW. They actually talk about ECW. They talk about WCW. And I found it really interesting because they talked about all that stuff that was non-WWE. So that was kind of cool. And so that was neat too. So definitely check that stuff out. And especially if you're, you know, a wrestling fan. I even found that on that show, there were people that I thought I didn't want to see. One of which was they had Bayley on that show. I really could care less about Bayley. But, you know what? Her interview was really good. And then they had on Sasha Banks. And I thought, she might be okay, because, you know, she's a cousin to Snoop Dogg and all that. That might be okay. That was actually pretty good. So, you know, even the ones that I didn't think I'd like, I actually liked. So, it's really good stuff. So, if you're a wrestling fan, you want to watch that stuff. It's on the, and if you're a Peacock fan, I mean, all that stuff is available to you on the Peacock network. So WWE got really smart because they got that Peacock network thing. Now they can concentrate on what they do best. They don't have to concentrate on marketing. They already have that stuff. So, all right, kind of went off on a tangent there. So I got to get back on track here. All right. So, next thing. Yeah, this is interesting. Jerry Falwell, Liberty University files lawsuit against former President Jerry Falwell Jr. So that's not Jerry Falwell, it is the junior version of him. Okay. Liberty University has filed a lawsuit against the former school president, Jerry Falwell Jr., that alleges he breached his employment contract and conspired to withholding damaging information from the university's Board of Trustees. I just am amazed that these people are supposed to put a higher standard. They're supposed to put things that we're not going to be embarrassed by, and yet we still run into the embarrassments of these things. So I found that very interesting that we would even have that to talk about. You know, you would think that they would do anything in their power to make sure that we're not going to run into that stuff, but that's just not the possibility. How am I on his page? I'm not supposed to be on his page. I'm supposed to be on my page. There we go. All right, now pop that in there, and let's see. Next thing. Oh, but we didn't go into that. Okay, I didn't really finish my thought there. So the university alleges that Falwell was dishonest. That's dishonest. That's hard to believe. Against a lawsuit, dishonest with the executive committee when negotiating an exceptionally generous severance package when he knew a brewing sex scandal would likely force him out at some point. Whew. So he's got a sex scandal, and he's got that he's got that in front of him, and he made an extra generous severance package. The package, the lawsuit also claims that Falwell breached his fiduciary duty as university's president and member of the board and trustees, engaged in a statutory conspiracy to hide an alleged plan to extort Falwell from the university. Liberty seeking more than $40 million in compensatory and punitive damages, plus any damages provable at trial. The suit was filed in Virginia. So, yeah, that's good to see our religious people out there doing their job. So, yeah, that's crazy. And then we got NASA. SpaceX wins a $2.9 billion, that's billion with a B, for the next lunar lander. I'll tell you what, our friend Elon Musk is doing really good. He's doing good stuff. He's, making deals and everything. So, yeah, I'm still a big follower of him. And so that's that. $2.9 billion. NASA will pay Elon Musk's SpaceX $2.9 billion to build a lunar landing system to ferry astronauts to the surface of the moon. Congratulations. Boy, I'll tell you what, that guy's got his hands in a lot of people's pockets. And gotta be excited about it. The space... It must be nice to be our space program, and you don't have to put anything together except money to put this stuff together. It's nuts. There's also I wonder what I did with that article. Looking here to see. There's another SpaceX article. I have something to do here. Let me find it here, because this goes in conjunction with that. Where is it? There it is. Okay, yeah. NASA's Mars helicopter Ingenuity successfully completed its first historic flight. A helicopter on Mars. Who would have thought? I never would have. It's crazy to think that there's now a helicopter, on Mars, and it's working, and it works. Is that crazy? Just nuts. So I'm excited about that, and it shows you that we can fly helicopters on Mars, something that before we had only thought we could do, and I never would have thought about that. I just think it's really exciting. So, if you ever wanted to see a helicopter on Mars, they actually have one. All right. Okay, now I can get back to the other thing. Now, okay, I got some interesting... Let's see, do I have this set up so that I can do this? Okay, I do. Good. Okay. So I want to play this video here. And this is an experiment that I had that I'm playing around with for co-hosts out there. And they are a virtual co-host. All right, here we go. It's going to play for you in just a minute here. I hope it plays.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his wife Lauren Hashian purchased a Beverly Hills mansion last week, according to Bleacher Report. As first reported by James McLean of Dirt.com, The Rock bought the 17,630 square foot home from actor Paul Reiser for $27.8 million. The mansion has 6 bedrooms, 11.5 bathrooms, a gym, a tennis court, and a baseball diamond. The home's location is in a gated community in the North Beverly Park area of Los Angeles. Some of The Rock's famous neighbors include Denzel Washington, Sylvester Stallone, Rod Stewart, Eddie Murphy, and Sofia Vergara. In other Rock news, Dwayne Johnson called his daughter Tiana loving and tenacious in a sweet tribute to the 3-year-old. Dwayne Johnson is showering his daughter Tiana Gia with love in honor of her 3rd birthday. On Sunday, the 48-year-old actor and former wrestler posted a heartfelt birthday tribute on Instagram to his baby girl, whom he shares with wife Lauren Hashian. Happy birthday birthday to my sweetest Lil, Tia Gianna. Johnson wrote alongside a snapshot of the father-daughter duo, loving, kind, tenacious and tough, like your mama winking face, and my greatest joy is being your daddy. I always got you. Now that she's finally starting to understand that daddy is Maui from Moana, she has
Who's your
one
daddy?
very important question. Daddy, do you know Aquaman? The Black Adam star added. In addition to Tiana, Johnson is also dad to daughter Jasmine, 5, with Hashian, 36, and daughter Simone, 19, whom he shares with his ex-wife Dani Garcia. Johnson often shares
By the way, just to break in there, hold on here.
whom he shares
That one, that daughter right there, is in the WWE Training Center, the NXT. So, be looking for her to be another breakout star.
with his ex-wife Dani Garcia. Johnson often shares footage on social media of his time.
Oh yeah, by the way, sorry about this. Dani Garcia, if you ever watch any Rock, anything, any special, whatever, it says produced by Dwayne Johnson and Dani Garcia. That's the Dani Garcia.
Time at home with his daughters. Last month, he posted an adorable throwback video with Tiana in which he taught her to tell herself a variety of positive affirmations in honor of International Women's Day. While holding Tiana close to his chest, Johnson asked his daughter, "Can you say I'm a pretty girl? I'm a pretty girl." Tiana adorably mumbled, as the Fast and Furious star went on to teach his daughter to call herself an awesome girl and a very smart girl. Johnson previously
very rich
opened up
girl.
about having all daughters in a candid Instagram post shared in February that featured a photo of the star walking hand in hand with Tiana. Every man wants a son, but every man needs a daughter. Johnson wrote, "All my girls have become the great equalizers in my life. I'm surrounded by estrogen and wouldn't have it any other way. And man, I hope she never gets tired of holding these big old dinosaur hands, though I suspect one day she will." Johnson has long been open about being a dad to all girls, even previously joking that he's unable to make boys. Back in December 2017, ahead of his third daughter's arrival, he told The Tonight Show's Jimmy Fallon all about his excitement for raising a third daughter. "I've got strong swimmers, Jimmy," he told the host at the time. "I feel good. I was raised by women all my life, basically, and this is my third daughter. I'm surrounded by estrogen. Bring on the estrogen."
And in conjunction to the Jason Momoa thing,
Message from Momoa himself.
Happy third birthday. Hi, Jesse. Jesse, I love you.
What an
I'm telling you, to have your dad. Why am I not there? Where is my... Oh, I'm hitting the wrong thing. What is going on here? All right, what happened here? Why? Oh, there we are. Yeah, but that's not the one I wanted. Huh. All right, well, darn. Gotta figure out how to do this. Let's see. Do this. And do this. There. No, that's not what I wanted. There. Okay. Must be nice to know people that you could just, your daughter loves Aquaman. It's funny, if you ever watched what was that HBO show? The HBO show about... Oh, I can't believe I can't remember things. I'm just totally losing it here. Hold on. There was a HBO show. Oh, Entourage. So Entourage is kind of a funny show because it was about a kid from New Jersey that there we go. It's funny. I love this show because it was so stupid, but it's basically a show about a kid from New Jersey who moved from Queens, New York to L.A., and all he wanted was to be a big star, and he went through all the trials and tribulations of being a big star. But his one role that was offered to him was Aquaman, and he didn't want to do Aquaman. He just hated the idea of doing Aquaman. And now we're seeing, Jason Momoa. He did Aquaman, and he did really, really good. So even though that was, not a real thing, but it's just funny that the guy didn't want to play Aquaman. So I just I laughed real hard that Aquaman ended up being a big star. So but I just loved that show. It was a fun show, and at the end of it, it kind of ended really strange and sad and all that. So but yeah, it's just kind of funny. Anyway, let me see. Let's go back to the two. Okay, so this I want to give to this. I only used about a second of the thing, but it's always good to give credit where credit's due, because if I don't, it'll come back and hit me in the face. It's funny, I pay for this one service that lets me make those animations, and I got snagged for copyright on one of those animations. And it's stupid because I own the copyright, I own the license because I bought the product. And I find out that the music on that one that I allegedly
Dwayne "The Rock"
stole
Johnson and his wife Lauren Hashian purchased a Beverly Hills mansion last week, according to Bleacher Report. As first reported by James McClain of Dirt.com, The Rock bought the 17,000...
Shut up. All right. But anyway, so I got in trouble for one of my videos. I hit the wrong one. Let's see. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's one of the videos that I did. Wanted to make sure that I did the videos, especially after all the time spent on that. King Kong versus Godzilla. Zilla. They topped the box office. Now, this is such a shame in a way. It says tops the box office at $80 million. Now, it's on HBO, so if you have HBO, you can see it for free. And it's sad because before COVID, that probably would have done $500,000 by now, and not, done. Wrong freaking button anyway. Let's try this again. All right. So anyway, like I said, it's, when you look at the things as it comes in, 80 million doesn't mean anything. Although now it does. It wouldn't have meant anything back in the day, because back then 80 million was a bad movie. And now 80 million is a good movie. So it resets the scales, but it really messes up what it could actually be doing. So, but you just do what you got to do. Says Godzilla vs. Kong remained the top domestic box office on its third weekend release. Legendary and Warner Brother movie added another 7.7 from its 3,001 theaters, boosting its American tally to 80.5. Now, keep in mind, that would have probably been $500 million if it was normal days and not COVID, but those days are gone for now. So that is supposed to be good. It's the first film to cross 100 million in the U.S. and Canada since the pandemic began. Its ticket sales, especially notable, and not just because movie theaters across the country have been operating at reduced capacities, but HBO has had it for free. So, meaning people who pay for the streaming service can watch its home at no extra charge. the entire 2021 slate will follow. So, like I said, it's really a shame. It says it actually made $300 million in ticket sales globally, bringing it to $390 million. But again, that would have been $500 million or even $1 billion by now if it were under normal circumstances, whatever that means now. So it's kind of sad, but hey, you got what you got. And all right, that's that. This is kind of cool. Now, a while back, Eddie Van Halen, of course, died in the fall, and they had a sale that had his Lamborghini on sale, and people weren't really spending the money that they thought the Lamborghini was worth, because I think they were trying to get $225 million or something, or $225,000. I think $225,000. And there was no sale. That's kind of sad because, I would love to have a Lamborghini, even if it isn't his, but here we go. They're going to sell the old car that was on Hot for Teacher. So you can actually, that would be a cool car to have. It's all really sexy and flashy, and it's red, just like my Tesla. But anyway, the car is up for sale, and very cool. I'd like to have it. I know I can't afford it, but I'd like to have it. Oh, shoot, no, that's not the right one. That's the right link to do it on. There we go. There's the right one. I think that'd be awesome to have. You get the car, you get a guitar, you get, I forget what the other thing was. There was 3 things you get. I'll tell you in a sec. Come on, save it. There we go. All right. Alex Van Halen's rhythmic solo beginning at Hot for Teacher is one of the absolute best drum intros in rock history. I absolutely would agree with that. And I will not be accepting any dissent at this time. His brother Eddie wasn't too shabby on the guitar either. My entire teenage years, see, for me it was my 20s, and part of my teenage years, were punctuated with the mind-blowing skills on display in Eruption and every other song on the 1984 album. As it turns out, Eddie was an enthusiast too, filling his garage with a number of vehicles that fit a rock legend. Once upon a time, Eddie owned and drove a custom 1934 Ford sedan hot rod, and that very car is up for auction at a starting bid of $100,000. The guitarist sold it somewhere along the way because it later showed up on Craigslist. It showed up on Craigslist for $70,000 in 2015, then popped again at 2017 at the Barrett Jackson auction in Scottsdale. Van Halen was a collector for many years. The centerpiece was the 1972 Lamborghini Miura. There it is, Miura. That Valerie Bertinelli gave him as a wedding gift. During the Song of Panama, the deep growling notes when David Lee Roth starts crooning about easing the seat back is the sound of the Miura. Ooh, can't say it. Revving up. But let's get back to the 1934. It has a Chevy 350 V8 in it, and topped it off with a B&M mini blower. It's sitting on a set of smoking hot real wheels with a full Jaguar rear conversion. The whole thing is draped in what you would call an Arrest Me red. I feel pretty confident, however, that if Eddie had ever been pulled over, it was more likely he'd get a request for an autograph. It's really quite nice. I mean, they did that up in leather and all that stuff. It looked pretty darn awesome. Take a peek under the hood. You'll see a mass of braided stainless hoses and a custom stainless exhaust, along with the impossibly clean carriage inside. The hot rod is swathed in leather. and in rich cream color, all created by designer to the stars Ron Magnus. You might remember Magnus as a genius mind behind the interior of the Aquarius, Metallica frontman James Hetfield's Art Deco hot rod. If the chop car isn't enough, the auction is including, this is the awesome stuff. Not only do you get the car, you get a Fender guitar signed by Van Halen brothers, along with singer David Lee Roth and the bass slinger Michael Anthony. You'll get the original deed signed with Eddie's own hand, and the price seems to be trending upward with every sale. If you're a Van Halen fan, this is one of the coolest pieces. You know, I would do that before I'd buy one guitar for $242,000. I just think that was crazy money. I would do that all day long for this car, because you'd have a cool car to drive, and, you know, you get that autographed guitar, then you get that autographed thing that he's got sitting there next to it. So, let's see where it's at. Because when I looked at it last night. So, let's see. It's up for auction. And the starting bid, here it is. Van Halen owned and drove 1934 Ford sedan red hot car with fully signed guitar and a full copy of title and autographs. So, you get to have that. And starting bid is $100,000. They're estimating it'll go for $150,000 to $200,000. See, I would buy that. That'd be cool to have, as long as you have the guitar that's autographed, and you get the whatever this is. This hover to zoom. Let's see what it is. It's like an Eddie picture. I don't know. Doesn't say anything about that, but I'll tell you, this car looks pretty hot. I mean, I would love that car. There's the motor, and it looks really clean. Of course, it would be, because if you get that kind of money, you're going to want to keep it nice and sexy. But that's just a really cool thing to have. Get that fun. Get this. Oop! I pushed the wrong one. Where do I do this to? I guess I can't do it like that. I'm going to have to do it like this. Let's see if do I have that? I don't. Okay, I thought that I had that, but we'll put that also in for your viewing pleasure. Assuming it comes up. There we go. I would love to have that. I'm never going to have that kind of money to blow on a car and a guitar and everything. So, yeah, that'd be neat. But, hey, I can dream. That would just be a cool car to have. Just to have it. I remember that video too. That was a fun video. So, yeah, got it made. I'm hot for teacher. I got it made so bad. I'm hot for teacher. We should have to check on that next week and see how it turned out. So I guess I won't delete that. Now here's something I do want to talk about. Ted Nugent's insane. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So, now first off, I like Ted Nugent, but he's insane. So first thing I ran across was this. This was a video from Ted saying that he has coronavirus. Okay, is this not going to play? Of course not. Why would it? Why would it play? All right, let's see. This. How do we do this? Go to here. Okay. So I went to Ted Nugent's page and thought, okay, well, that's kind of cool. But then I ran into this. This is, here you go.
Oh, boy. Somebody's snuggling in the cleavage of God.
Now, I mean, he's just a lunatic. there's not much more you can say about it. But when you see and hear some of the stuff he says on this video, tells you how he really is a lunatic.
Bosom buddies with God. There's Coco. You don't want me to show you? You look beautiful. What was that? Was that a dog? Look at this.
Now she's
Look
hot.
at this.
She's hot.
Look at Happy the Jack.
Look at the dogs. They're all just all having fun.
Sadie, how are you, sweetest? Bring me a biscuit. Thank you for the nice biscuit. Oh, who loves their daddy, Miss
So I guess
America.
I didn't see the whole
There
video.
she
I
is.
saw part of this video.
Look at my doctors. There's Coco Mocha Doctor, Sadie the Lady Doctor, Shemaine, the most dangerous doctor in the world, and Happy Jackson. Here comes Coco. Positive Chinese virus day. And
okay.
Doctors. Okay. All right, here it is. What's today, the 20th? 20th of April. My second day, positive Chinese virus day. And you can still hear I've got some Quikrete. Somebody pumped some Quikrete into my skull.
So he was one of those people that says that this virus was not real, first off. And then he was also one of those guys that says, I'm not going to take the vaccine. There's lots of guys that aren't going to take the vaccine for various reasons, and it's understandable. I mean, usually it takes anywhere from a couple years to 10 years to do a vaccine. So people that put out a vaccine in, a couple months, you got to be concerned. I actually got my shot, and they give you a really cool, there you go. I was vaccinated. Now I got to go back with my second one, but still I got the first one. So that's one down, one to go. And if I don't die before that, that's fine. But, anyway, so here's Ted talking about this vaccine. But, okay. It's fine that he doesn't believe in any of this vaccine and all that. That's fine. But he gets really racist about what he says. Now, hear it again, and I'll play it again.
Positive Chinese virus day. And you can still hear I've got some Quikrete. Somebody pumped some Quikrete into my skull. I literally blew enough snot out of my head yesterday. It could have replaced the Everglades that, what's his name down there? That Walt Disney raped. Did you get that? What a great analysis. What a great analogy.
Actually, this isn't the one I watched. The one I watched is... Here we go. This is the one I watched. And, this is him talking about this virus. And he wasn't... I mean, none of us want to get this virus. I believe I had the virus, and I will tell you, it is not a fun ride. And he had it too. Where's that video clip? There it is. Okay. So...
Well, there's a beautiful beginning.
This is from
of
yesterday, I
right
think.
there, and Uncle Ted
He's talking about the...
is back on Facebook Live. I'm coming on strong Facebook Live. Look at that beautiful Serengeti. I don't know if you can see, but there's...
You don't get to see the right angle of that. They missed the whole top of it. So he's talking about...
how do you do this? Can you zoom in?
There we go. Now...
I think you can zoom in.
So he's talking about...
Come on with the... Look at that. Are you kidding me? Captain just kicked off. But anyhow, there's our Shemaine's beautiful organic garden. And here's a bunch of antlers, some axis bone that we...
Now, he's a
these antlers every year.
He's a Trump guy.
Do an announcement, huh? I'll turn
Okay,
this
do
around.
this
How do I
announcement.
do this? All right, there I am. Look at me. You probably can't tell because my positive spirit, my positive attitude plows right through all the negative. But I got an announcement to make, and everybody told me I should not announce this. But can you hear it? I have had flu symptoms for the last 10 days that have just, I thought I was dying. I mean,
it is horrible. It is just the worst thing, because I just wanted to die. I felt so bad.
There's a certain glow, huh? Hey, Planet Earth, my name is Ted Nugent, and we're about to do the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire with John Brankus in about a half an hour, something like that, 9 p.m. Eastern Time sharp. And I got a 59 Les Paul fired up, ready to rock, Doc. But I have an announcement to make. Today is the 19th, is that right? The 19th of April, 2021, during clusterfuck pandemic, Chinese virus attack 21. I was tested positive today. I got the Chinese shit. Actually, it's the only thing I don't have is the shit. Boy, I got a stuffed up head. Body aches. My God, what a pain in the ass. I literally can hardly crawl out of bed the last few days.
And that's the way it was for me, too. That's the way it was for me, too, because a year ago, January, I was in bed for days. I just barely ever got even out of bed because I just felt so bad. And I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. I just felt horrible. So, yeah, it just is one of those things that no matter what you did, you weren't going to be able to enjoy life during that period of time.
Look like I've been crawling, do I? So I was officially tested positive for COVID-19 today. But here's a great, and we'll go into the gory detail of the great phenomena of the Chinese virus. So I said, Doc, all right, you want me to get tested? I haven't.
This is kind of interesting, and actually, I agree with him on this.
Been tested, haven't taken the vaccine, so nobody knows what's in it. Actually, some people do know what's in it. And if you can't even honestly answer our questions of exactly what's in it and why are you testing it on human beings and forcing it upon people in such a short period of time, instead of answering those questions, I said to the doctor, hey, Doc, if I test positive, what will you do different if I test negative? All right, I'll repeat that question. Hey, Doc, a number of doctors, which I truly revere. In fact, I thank the doctors. Thank you for dedicating your life to making people well. The Hippocratic Oath. Do no harm. Well, let me ask you, Doc, if I test positive, what will you do different than if I test negative? And the doctor went, nothing. But it's good to know. I said, well, hang on a second, Doc. If I test positive for the Chinese virus, what will you do different for me than if I test negative? And all the doctor said, nothing. And he said, but it's good to know. And I said, you know, Doc, I never went to college. I was too busy learning shit. And I know the English language pretty good. I'm not a Webster's dictionary, but I can make my point and I can grasp general dialogue. I said, Doc, you say it's good to know. What would be the good from knowing? If you can't do anything different for me if I test positive than if I test negative, you say it's good to know. What's the good? If it's good to know, what good are you offering me? What good? There's no good. It's not good to know. There's nothing you're going to do. Fucking goofballs. So anyhow, my name is Ted Nugent. Happy April 19th. Is today the 19th? Wingo. So I'm tested positive. We'll talk all about it on the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire with John Brankus. And I'm going to start off with a fire-breathing Star Spangled Banner. We're going to talk about a bunch of great activities going on right now. Unfortunately,
Anyway, you get the idea. He's just a little wacky. And I've known that before because he was very controversial in some of the things he says. And the thing is, he calls it the Chinese virus and just kind of like, I don't know. I lose some respect for him somewhat because I think that you got to be a little more sensitive than that, because the not all the Chinese people caused the virus. So I just think that it's ridiculous, some of the things he does, but it's just another guy who didn't believe there was a virus and then got the virus. So anyway, I found that just really bizarre. I guess I probably should. I didn't forward this out. I want to give people a chance to look at it themselves. I don't think I did it. Oh, I did do it. I did send them. Okay, so that's good. Ted Nugent's a great guitar player. I really enjoy listening to him play, but he's just a little far out there somewhat. So, just one of them guys. All right, let's see. Okay, we're going to keep the Eddie Van Halen thing. All right, now we're going to get into some real strange stuff. All right. This is awesome. Votech students save and rebuild a house that was destroyed by fire. That's what they should do. That's what Votech students should be doing. They should be helping people put their lives back together and get credit for it. So I was happy to see that. This is a group of Dauphin County Tech students, Votech students, reported their building construction to the building construction class Friday. I didn't even know we had a building construction class. Of course, I didn't go to Votech, so that would be one reason. Instead, it says here, they started their day at 8 a.m. at the vacant home destroyed by fire at 616 Wiconisco Street in Harrisburg. They spent hours finishing the interior demolition as part of the unique project launched this year by the school to save a home while giving students valuable experience. The idea was developed by Robert Brightbill, a building construction instructor. In November 2020, a friend of his owned the property and was looking to sell it after it burned in April of last year. He had it for sale for a really good price, and I said I'd really be interested in taking a look. I saw that even there was a lot of fire damage, the structure itself was good. So I made a phone call to my boss immediately, and I found the house I would like to buy for a school project. They bought the house for $500, which Brightbill saw as a really good deal. He met with school's joint operating committee to figure out the mechanics of this novel, since it's the first time they attempted to do it. I think it's a really cool idea, because they ought to do that every year. They ought to pick a house and spend money on it, fix it up, and then sell it, and then take that money to buy their next house. That would be one way that they could actually, and they may already do that. They may be what they do, but that's a really cool idea. And they should do that with all their departments, even their, auto department, maybe for their auto paint or whatever, buy a wrecked car and rebuild that car and then resell it, and then take that money and use it to buy another car and all that. I think that'd be really cool. So, but it's just nice to see that they're doing that, and it's cool. It says here the school has received a good amount of community support, with several donations from companies to help get the project off the ground. Seco Home Services stepped up right away and said, we're here to help your electrical needs. They got donation tools for us, and they secured lumber donations for us. They've secured electrical donations for us. It's wonderful. In addition, Bob Means Plumbing in Lemoyne also is helping secure the plumbing fixtures that they'll need for their tubs and showers and sinks and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think that'd be cool. That was a really nice thing. So, it's good to see the kids of America doing something good. Microsoft should just give Windows away for free. Being a former Microsoft employee of a distribution center. I think that one is probably true too, because you think about all the PCs that have Windows out there. The companies that build those PCs usually pay, well, if they're rebuilding one, they'll pay about $20 to $30 for Windows. And if they're building it new, they'll probably pay $75 to $100 for it new. So it already has a key. So when it upgrades, when you get an upgrade, like they have recently done a thing that, if you didn't know this, you had a PC, the hard drive died, put a new hard drive in there, and you don't know what your key is because they don't tell you your keys anymore. You can actually download it and install it, and you don't have to know what the key is. It's kind of interesting. So they are now making it so that you can, you don't have to have your key because it'll automatically recognize it somehow. So yeah, I found it interesting. But anyway, sorry about that. I just found money in my pocket. When was the last time you had to enter a Windows key? I realized that few of my PCs I had not entered the Windows 10 product keys for years, despite the numerous upgrades and even fresh installs of Windows 10 itself. Over the years, when some of the PCs have been upgraded so many times that one could argue that they are no longer the same machines that the Windows 10 was originally installed on. Some like the ship of the Seuss that Vision was talking about in WandaVision. Now, the previous versions of Windows, every time you reinstall, you need to enter a product key. These days, Windows 10 seems to run perfectly fine without one, except for a watermark encouraging you to activate Windows. And if you've activated Windows 10 once before with a product key, that seems to be enough, no matter how many times you do a fresh install. So I didn't know that, but, I really feel that Windows 10 or the Windows versions that are coming out should be just included in the thing. But I don't really know. It says, so what's happening is Microsoft come up with a way to tie down in the Windows 10 key. Well, I think part of it is that they wanted everybody on Windows 10. They wanted people off of 7, 8. They wanted them off that, so they made it easy by giving the 10 away in the beginning. And they had an expiration date of that, but that never really expired. It says here, I would have thought that to tie your Microsoft account and then reset a PC and then sign in to a local account instead, and the Windows 10 was happily activated without an issue. Or does Windows really not care that much? Why wouldn't they care? It says, well, this is, after all, the company that tries to get you to use the Edge browser and Bing search engine at every opportunity. So why would it suddenly be so carefree about Windows 10? Well, that's sort of the answer. You see, Windows interests to get as many people on Windows 10 as possible for the simple reason, as a Trojan horse for Edge and Bing, the amount of valuable ad money. That's true. There's a lot of ad money, and they really, it drives me crazy if you look at a particular car. Let's say that you wanted to buy a Jeep. Well, now every time you go to a page, it's going to automatically bring up your Jeeps and stuff like that. It's crazy. But I think they make a lot of money on that ad stuff. Actually, we could just look at that. Let's do that as soon as we're done here. We'll do. Let's see here. In many ways, Microsoft sort of is anyway. While originally it offered a free upgrade to Windows 10 for Windows 8 and Windows 7 users, it was supposed to be for a limited time. However, 6 years after Windows 10 launched, it's incredibly easy to upgrade to Windows 10 for free. The free update does not involve doing or downloading anything illegal. You simply have to use the official Windows Media Creation tool and select Download Tool Now under the section entitled Create Windows 10 Installation Media. And some people consider this a loophole, but it's not even that. You just use the official tools Microsoft is offering. Microsoft must be keenly aware there's an easy way to upgrade to Windows 10 for free rather than paying for an upgrade. Yet it has done nothing about it. Why? Because Windows approves. After all, it means people are using 10, and it's painfully easy to find cheap Windows 10 product codes on eBay. That's true. I found, but I've also found a site that sells them for, I don't know, $10. I still wonder how they do that. But it says here, while many have been removed, there are many, so many, there was no way for Windows to know about them. Yet there seemed no rush to do anything about them. Why? It was getting more people into Windows 10. And the amount of money Microsoft can make by getting more people to use Edge and Bing and share their data probably dwarfs the amount of money they get selling Windows 10 license keys. Bulk keys for Windows 10 Pro or enterprise licenses to a business is a different matter. So the question is simple. By making Windows 10 free, it's home free, they'll be getting more people than ever on an operating system, and will stop people from going to resellers and, or even worse, pirating the software. That makes sense. And here they're saying their price, the Windows prices, $105 at Walmart, $120 Amazon, Best Buy $120, and from Microsoft $139. So that would tell you why you would want to try to get it for free, because that's a lot of money. Anyway, all right, so that explains that. Oh, what did I want to do? I wanted to try... Oh, okay, so let's go to Bing, just for fun. Let's see what it is that I have been looking at. Let's find an ad here. Okay, where's it at? Huh. Oh, I ended up in Google. That's funny. Oh, wait, here we go. Bing. Here we go. Let's see. What have I been doing? Well, actually, it doesn't... I don't see anything. Let's go here to this... here. So let's see what kind of ads are coming up under me. I don't see any. What do I must have an ad stopper. Oh, that's because I'm not using Bing. Huh. That's interesting. It's wiped out all the ads. Let's see. Wonder if... Okay, let's see if I have Bing on here. I probably do. Somewhere. That's probably under Microsoft. Microsoft Edge. Let's try that. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, maybe it won't do it because it doesn't. I don't use it, so we're looking here at different things. I wanted to look at the news. How about the news? Let's bring up news. News. Where's the news? I don't know. I don't see... I just screwed it up. There we go. Let's go into Fox News. Let's go... What ads? I don't see any ads. Alright. Well, I know that they do throw a lot of ads out there. Alright. Well, anyway. Here we go. Oh, come on, let me delete that. Okay. This is scary. So if you have a Peloton. I think it's a Peloton. Alright, so if you have a Peloton, this would scare me if I had a kid and I had a Peloton. All right, now we're gonna play games now, because now all of my things have been switched over. You freaking. All right, so I'm gonna make this work right. There we go. I need to make this a default. How do I do the make the default? Okay, where is... I can't believe I did that. Slows me down big time. Sync Google Services Manager, Google account, phone, name and picture. How do I do this? I don't even know how to do this. How do we do this? Default browser. There we go. Default. Now it should be okay. Right? Should. Let's see if it is. Wait, what's going on? Oh, here we go. Web browser. We don't want it to be that. We want it to be that. Thank you. Alright, so now it should be... Now when I hit this button, it should come up. There we go. Okay. So this is kind of scary if you have kids and they are playing around in the living room with the Peloton. What is it? Peloton. Okay. So it says here, federal regulators released a terrifying video of a kid being dragged under a Peloton Tread Plus as they wanted to warn consumers. I'll tell you what, this is scary. To immediately stop using the exercise machine. The video shared by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission on Saturday showed the young boy playing near the Peloton Tread Plus while the ball he's playing with gets trapped under the equipment, and he gets dragged underneath. That is freaky and scary, and if I had kids, I would be worried about that. So I'm kind of like, when I saw it, I was, fortunately I don't have kids, but it reminded me of when I had friends over and they had a 3-year-old kid, and I had I still have a treadmill, and the treadmill, it has a thing that you can't run the treadmill unless you have the key in. It's a little plastic card, and I happen to have it in there, unfortunately, and we were like hanging out and talking about things, and all of a sudden, the 3-year-old activated the treadmill, and you hear this, boom. The kid was crying after being, flung across the room, and I was so worried he'd sue me for that, because that was really horrible. But here is the video, if you haven't seen it, that freaked me out. This kid was, he was lucky he didn't get hurt. So here we have the kids playing, and here he has the ball, and the ball, the kid's on top, the one kid's on top of it, the ball gets under there, and it traps him and her. Oh, well, it doesn't trap her, but it traps him, and it keeps pulling him under as it goes. So the kid is lucky he didn't get hurt. And actually, one kid ended up dying, but this kid really could have been, his neck could have been snapped in half there. So he just, just kind of weird that Peloton was even like, you don't let your kids play with that. That kid was lucky. He could have been hurt really, really bad. So, I don't know. It would really freak me out if
Mom means love.
Hey,
she opened
how do
our
I stop
hearts.
that? Here we go. Wait, what's going on? No, I don't want the 800 flowers. All right. So anyway, yeah, I just kind of thought it was freaky because, you don't want to lose your kids for something like that. That was crazy. I guess I already did that. So the kid's stuck under the stupid Peloton. And struggles to free himself from the $4,295 machine. Safety Commission on Saturday said it's aware of 39 incidents with the treadmill, including one child who died. So the staff believes Peloton Tread Plus poses serious risks to children for abrasions, fractures, and death. So, says in the light of the multiple reports of children becoming entrapped, pinned, and pulled under the roller product, says here it urges consumers with children at home to stop using the product immediately, or you put the thing in a different room and lock it up, or there's got to be a way to lock them out too. You can't just, because my machine is like almost 30 years old, maybe 25, and way back then they had the key or whatever that I used to lock it down. In fact, I lost the key and can't use it. I still have it. But something to think about. When you have exercise machines, exercise equipment, man, you got to be careful when you got kids in that involved. So, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I was doing some cleaning, and I found a bunch of videotapes that I was told were worth money. But it says here, Stampede for Dr. Seuss titles sends the book sales up. Now, if you remember, a couple weeks ago we talked about the titles being pulled from the market for insensitivity and racist remarks and stuff like that. Well, these people are still buying them because, well, now they want them because they have racist things in them, and they're going to be in limited supply. So people ended up wanting to buy them now more than ever. 34% increase in sales. The book industry saw sales surge 34% last week thanks to the stampede for Dr. Seuss titles, following moves to end the publication of 6 books over racially offensive images. The book, of course, the sales have been soaring generally as people look for ways to entertain themselves during the pandemic. But last week's surge of the 34% compared to a year ago was especially stunning. Much of the time was driven by Dr. Seuss, which commanded 4 of the 5 best-selling books on the week ending March 8th. The Cat in the Hat sold 105,000 copies last week, compared to 22,000 in the first week of March of last year. Sales of Green Eggs and Ham tripled to 90,000 from 34,000. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish sold 88,000 copies compared to 26,000 a year ago. On The Places You'll Go, that jumped from 74,000 from it jumped up to 74,000 from 43,000, and Fox in Socks rose to 64,000 from 23,000. That's a whole lot of books. In just that short period of time, that's a whole lot of books. I can't get people to buy my album that even a piece of that. And I think my album's good. The Bonanza, first reported Thursday by Publishers Weekly, followed... what's going on now? My stream stopped, it says. Oh, now I'm back. Okay. I hate Comcast. They just do not have the service they should have for the money that I spend on their services. All right. The Bonanza, first reported Thursday by Publishers Weekly, followed the news last week that Dr. Seuss Enterprises would stop publishing 6 of the 60 titles. And you think I saw it on Mulberry Street? If I Ran a Zoo, McElliot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Eggs Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. Sister Souljah's new novel, Life After Death, was the only non-Dr. Seuss book to crack the top 5, landing the number 4 with 80,000 sold. And Stephen King's Later sold 57,000 copies. putting it in 7th place. That's crazy. People just want that because it's being pulled from the market. Ugh. But anyway, I think I did this. Did I do this already? Never know if I did it or not. Yep, I did. Okay. Next. Another follow-up. Another Dr. Seuss story. Mom is busted after cops reportedly find cocaine on son's Dr. Seuss book. That kid, he's such a narc. Now his mom's in trouble for cocaine. Oh, man. Should have been not the cat in the hat, anyway. But it was. Mom left a bump of something of suspected cocaine. Throw the book at her. A Florida mom was busted this week for child endangerment after cops found drugs where her 3-year-old could reach them, including a bump of suspected cocaine atop of a copy of Dr. Seuss' The Cat in the Hat. Casey Coca, 24, must have had lots of fun, good fun that was funny on Wednesday, maybe too much. The arrest, reported in Pinellas County, Florida, alleged that marijuana was found on Coca's bed in her Largo home, while the cocaine-covered tome with a snorting straw go through it, and the pills thought to be MDMA. Whew, she's in trouble. And her son had access to the bedroom, where all the drugs were within the kid's reach. You know, she's got a chance of losing her kids now because her kid didn't keep it quiet. Quota was booked on 2 counts of child neglect and released from jail on $4,000 bond. That's crazy. But, you know, you got to be smart about that. If you have those kids in the house and you're doing drugs, nothing good's going to come out of that. So those stories are done. Now, the big story of the day, and I'm sure it'll be on any website, but we'll just take the one that I took. So a year ago-ish, George Floyd was killed by a police officer, Derek Chauvin. And he was on trial yesterday and today. Well, actually, he's been on trial for a while. And they finally wrapped it up today. And we all now know what the result is. If we don't know the result, I will tell you the result. Derek Chauvin, found guilty of the death in the murder and the death of George Floyd. Now, he had 3 counts that he's guilty of. So they didn't take long to decide that. It says here, in less than 12 hours of deliberation, the jury returned with its verdict against Chauvin, finding him guilty on all 3 counts: second-degree unintentional murder and third-degree murder with second-degree manslaughter. Bail was revoked, and Chauvin was handcuffed in court and taken into custody. Thousands of people who gathered outside the courthouse erupted in celebration as the verdict was read. Former President Barack Obama said that the jury did the right thing. At the White House, President Biden hailed the jury for delivering a just verdict. It was a murder in the light of day, the president said. You know, the thing is, I am happy that they did do that. If they had done anything but that, we would have had riots again. But the reason that they did the right thing was it was the right thing to do. That police officer held his knee on George Floyd's neck until he died. And how could it be anything but that? Because the officer clearly knew he was doing the wrong thing. And it was just one of those things that you have to show your machoism and you have the guy down, you might as well make him pay for it. And I just, I think that it was important that they have justice. So I am very glad that that is finally over, because a lot of us, I think most of us, really felt it had to be a guilty plea, or it had to be a guilty verdict. So, yeah. I mean, it won't bring George Floyd back, but maybe some peace in the long run. So, I don't know. I just feel that the police officer that did that was playing God, and that was just the wrong thing to do. So, my brother was a macho guy like that. He had to show his dominance and all that stuff, and it's just horrible. So, anyway, LA homeless spending could be $1 billion as the crisis spreads. This crisis is not going away anytime soon. And that's another scary thing, because this is, the more that it's out there, the more we close businesses. I mean, it's just horrible, because, businesses are struggling to survive, and they can't survive if they can't have business. And businesses finally opened up again, and now the COVID numbers are going up again, which everybody expected, but, we still need to deal with that. So, anyway, that's what the deal is. Los Angeles has faced an out-of-control homeless crisis. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti on Monday proposed spending nearly $1 billion in the coming year to get people off the streets, building housing and clean up squalid encampments that have spread into nearly every neighborhood in the city. The blueprint for record-level spending comes as the city hall faces widening criticism for its inability to restrain the growth of homelessness, even though the city continues to spend an ever larger share of its budget on programs that are aimed at unhoused people. A lot of those people, they like the freedom. They like the fact that they don't have to worry about taxes, don't have to worry about mortgages, all that stuff. And but it says in a sprawling online speech that touched issues from climate change to Wi-Fi access, Garcetti also proposed a pilot program to give public money to struggling households known as Guaranteed Basic Income. He said 24 million taxpayer dollars would be used to provide $1,000 a month to 2,000 households a year. No questions asked. The city would fund a one-year pilot project to dispatch a mental health professional rather than a police officer to nonviolent crisis among homeless people, focusing on hard-hit areas like Hollywood. So I don't know how we're ever going to get ahead if we keep spending beyond our needs or beyond our means. I just don't know. It seems like that's a scary thing to give away that. Not that I don't want to not do it, but the money's got to come from somewhere. We got to have a way to pay for it. You just can't make. It's like all this money that we're giving away for the COVID thing. Somebody's going to have to pay for it somewhere, somehow, some way down the line. It's going to have to be paid for. So who's going to pay for it? I don't know. It's crazy. So, all right, now. Disney Park debuts the new gender-flexible costumes. Whew, that's what we needed. Inclusion training for theme park cast members. So, yeah, It's hitting Disney characters already. Not already. I would say that Disney lives matter. But it's kind of funny when you think about it. To keep up with the rest of the company, descent into wokeism, the parks will introduce a number of measures aimed at promoting inclusion at Walt Disney World in Orlando and Florida and Disneyland in Anaheim. So it says here, it's not clear whether Disney will roll out the same measures at its properties in China, Europe, Japan, and Hong Kong. For starters, Disney will be introducing gender-flexible costumes for its non-binary cast members, what Disney calls its park and resort employees, and will be loosening the company's strict appearance directives, allowing cast members for the first time to have visible tattoos, jewelry, and deviate from the park's strict dress code. So you no longer have to be Mickey Mouse without tattoos. You could be Mickey Mouse with it. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I guess it's cool. I don't see how it would matter that much, but okay. They'll be removing gender references for all staff costumes. I don't know. It's kind of funny, but I can't really... I mean, this is a really slippery slope, because going down this rabbit hole, or whatever you want to call it, to figure out what the right thing is to do. It doesn't appear the character or costumes are affected yet, so it's unlikely that Disney princesses will be played by male cast members, and its princes played by women. And the company does not say it will introduce some variations on specific costumes to accommodate non-binary cast members who do not want to wear specifically male or female costumes. I don't know. If you're hired to be a guy that's wearing a costume, you should be willing to wear that costume regardless of what it is. Because, I mean, that's your job. It's just an acting job. You can act as if you're a princess without being a princess. I don't know. The game changes are a major move in Disney's overall park standards. Previously, cast members were asked to abide by the 4 keys. Disney management will now be adding a 5th key inclusion. This is just the beginning as we work towards a world where we all belong, including a more diverse and inclusive Disney parks. The 4 keys refer to Disney training philosophy, in which the theme cast members are trained to prioritize the key elements of safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency, in that order. So, I mean, like I said, you're working for a company. If they want a Disney princess, that's what they get. That's my opinion. All right. So, get rid of this. It's after 9 already, but I got started late. I got a second video I want you guys to watch, and hope you enjoy it. Let's see. All right, here we go. Here's the other video. Now, this music on here is what I got in trouble for. This was a video that I paid for. All right? And I had to be harassed by Facebook that I broke copyright. I didn't break copyright. I'm not going to even play the music. I'm just going to wait till a guy gets through, and that's it. And I'll just unmute that thing. That's funny, though.
American CNN produced.
Okay, this is a video that I created out of some news stories that I saw. So it's about a couple things, kind of like about. It started out being one thing and it ended up being another thing for me. So
Asian American CNN producer Carolyn Sung was reportedly thrown down, zip-tied, and arrested by Minnesota state troopers.
So that's one story. The other story is there was a protest going on, and it just turned out that this woman was racially profiled, and that's not what the story was, not about that, but that's what I made it about.
Last Tuesday evening while covering protests, and one trooper asked if she spoke English, her primary language, according to a letter by her lawyer Leda Walker. Some tried to comply with a police dispersal order and leave the Hennepin County area while covering protests over the death of Daunte Wright, 20, who was shot by police at a traffic stop in Brooklyn Center on April 11th, and attempted to identify herself with her CNN credentials, but to no avail, Walker wrote on Saturday. Despite repeatedly hearing Sung identify herself as a member of the press and tell the troopers that the zip ties were too tight on her wrists, one trooper yelled at Sung, "Do you speak English?" Walker's letter said, noting that Sung never resisted the police. While in jail, Sung reportedly was patted down and searched by a female officer who put her hands down her pants and in her bra. Then she was fingerprinted and electronically body scanned before being ordered to undress and change into an orange prison suit before her release. Walker's letter said that Sung was initially grabbed by her backpack before being thrown to the ground and had her hands zip-tied behind her back. Meanwhile, a security agent hired by CNN to work with Sung was apparently also detained, but was released upon showing his CNN credentials. This is horrifying. Minnesota police wrongfully arrested CNN producer Carolyn Sung, refused to listen to her as she declared her credentials, zip-tied her, and subjected her to anti-Asian rhetoric. A free press is foundational to our democracy. Reporters worked tirelessly during this tumultuous year to keep Minnesotans informed. I convened a meeting today with media and law enforcement to determine a better path forward to protect the journalists covering civil unrest. In another tweet Saturday, the governor wrote, "Journalists must be allowed to safely cover protests and civil unrest. I've directed our law enforcement partners to make changes that will help ensure journalists do not face barriers to doing their jobs." Walker's letter addressed Walz's meeting after it was over, saying her intention was to continue the dialogue surrounding law enforcement's
Now, all the pictures I placed from here on out were not about the protest, but it was about the Asian racism, that it was telling people to stop hating the Asians. So I just kind of felt that was more important than the story itself.
Treatment of journalists, and to ensure what had occurred will never happen again. It was written on behalf of nearly 30 local and national news organizations and government transparency organizations, according to Walker. The First Amendment is clear. Journalists have a robust right of access to gather and report the news without fear of intrusion or interference by law enforcement, Walker wrote. The letter additionally pointed out that journalists covering protests over the 2020 death of George Floyd in Minneapolis police custody have had similar experiences with Minnesota law enforcement. The same day Sung was detained, Walker wrote that a photojournalist in Brooklyn Center was tackled, put in restraints, and issued a summons, and in a separate incident, a New York Times journalist and others were assaulted.
So there you go. I did this. There you go. I had a little exit thing there too, so... Oh, no, I don't want you to play that. I don't want to get in trouble again. Jeez. Crazy stuff. But anyway, just kind of interesting. Like I said, the interesting part was that I felt the story was not the protest. It was really the woman, as far as feeling she was racially profiled. You know, do you speak English? Jeez. What kind of people? I swear, I don't understand how people get along on day-to-day things if they are doing things like that. So I just think that all you got to do is just a little common sense. You know, there's no reason to make anybody feel bad about their ethnicity. I'm more sensitive to that type of thing than a lot of people because I grew up in abused life. I mean, I was heavy. I was abused by my mother, more or less. I was abused by my grandmother. I was abused by not as much of my grandfather, but not my dad, but but I was actually really abused back when bullying wasn't even out there. Nobody even thought about it, but I was bullied as a kid, big time, from the kids in school all the way through school. So I understand bullying. But anyway, this is a good story. Suspected poacher trampled to death by elephants in South Africa. That's good. We need to see more things like that happen, because chances are those people didn't deserve to live anyway if they're out there poaching elephants. These people, I just don't understand. But you take a look at that, it says a suspected poacher was trampled to death by a herd of elephants in South Africa's Kruger National Park on Saturday. So it makes me happy that they got crunched. 3 suspected poachers were attempting to flee Kruger National Park rangers when they ran into a breeding herd of elephants. So you're trying to avoid the rangers, and you run across these breeding elephants. Once the suspects realized they were being pursued, they dropped an axe and bag with their provisions and ran away from the rangers. Rangers called for backup from the South African Police Service and canine unit, and one suspect was subsequently arrested and informed the rangers that the group had run into a herd of elephants and wasn't sure if his accomplice had managed to escape. Well, it sounds like he hadn't. So I would think did the 2 die or 1? It says here 3 suspected poachers were attempting to flee. So I don't know. Rangers discovered his accomplice badly trampled and unfortunately succumbed to his injuries. The 3rd suspect is said to have been injured in one eye but continues to flee. A rifle was recovered and the case was referred to police, who, together with the pathology team, attended to the scene. And it says here, Gareth Coleman, managing executive of Kruger National Park, urged those who live nearby to assist with any information and said, "We're proud of these teamwork and dedication of our Rangers Corps and the elephants," I believe. So, just kind of cool. The elephants won. I like when the elephants win. That don't happen too often. So too often they, the animals get killed and poached, and this is one of the few times that they actually win. So, good for the elephant. Especially since I was called an elephant many times. Alright, there we go. We're on Facebook too. Alright, there we go. Alright. Let's see here. I don't know if I ever finished that. I don't think I finished that. Okay. Alright. The police ID gunman who killed 8 people at an Indianapolis FedEx facility as a 19-year-old former employee. So apparently, not happy with the job. Says police arrived at a very chaotic scene with victims and witnesses running everywhere. And it was at a FedEx facility near Indianapolis. And it says here, Thursday night, a former employee shot and killed 8 people and wounded several others. Deputy Chief Craig McCart on Friday afternoon identified the man as 19-year-old Brandon Hull, who was last employed in 2020. Hull was found dead of a gunshot wound that appeared to be self-inflicted. In March 2020, Hull's mother told the law enforcement that he might attempt suicide by cop. Ugh. Federal agent in charge, Paul Keenan, said Hull was placed on an immediate mental health temporary hold by Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. He said a shotgun was seized at Hull's residence. So this kid, he was literally a kid. He couldn't find another way out. That's a shame. He had to kill 8 people and then himself, I guess. Special agent, where are we at here? It says here, based on items observed in the suspect's bedroom at that time, he was interviewed by the FBI in April 2020. No racially motivated violent extremism ideology was identified. McCart told reporters that Indianapolis police found Hull's name in their past incident reports. The deputy chief didn't have information about the first report. The details he described from a 2020 report aligned with the FBI statement. Investigators are trying to determine the motive, and we're searching for what they believe the suspected gunman's home. Says when asked what brought the suspected gunman to the FedEx, I wish we could answer that. On Friday evening, they released names of the 8 deceased victims, and it looks like they were from 19 to 74. That's really a shame. There's 2 19-year-olds in there. So, a statement by the IMPD said that the next of kin had been notified by the Marion County's coroner's office. The cause of death will be determined by autopsies, and they're complete. After autopsies are complete. So, that's a shame. I mean, so many people are affected by that stuff. It's bad enough when you kill yourself or you kill one person, then kill yourself. Because people are always going to say why and never really know. So, it's a shame. But that person changed a lot of people's lives by killing those people for who knows what reason. All right, now let's see here. Let's put this here. And then we'll put it over on Twitter for those people over there that want to read it. Next. Yeah, okay. I was trying to figure out what that was about because I couldn't remember the guy's name. It says here, alleged sex trafficking victims may be cooperating with feds in the Matt Gaetz investigation, ex-girlfriend says. So apparently this guy was not a very nice guy, because if he was involved in sex trafficking, it's no wonder he's resigned from his post. So this guy was what was he? Government. I can't remember which position he had, but Matt Gaetz was a government official, and now he's more of a criminal. Of course, that could be the same in some cases. Anyway, it says here, Representative Matt Gaetz, Republican from Florida, his former girlfriend expressed that fears that a woman who is allegedly sex trafficking victim of the Florida lawmaker recorded a call with her, raising the prospect that a second cooperating witness is working with the prosecution. Matt Gaetz has got a couple problems coming. The lawmaker accused of traveling with the woman over state lines for sex when she was 17 in violation of the sex trafficking laws. Gaetz's former girlfriend raised concerns of two of her friends, who then relayed them to Politico, which I believe is a website. She told her associates the alleged victim and another person recorded a call which they discussed Gaetz, seemingly in an attempt to incriminate the Florida lawmaker. The three participants of the call were all on a September 2018 trip to the Bahamas with Gaetz and two other Florida politicians. The trip's under investigation on suspicion that some of the women were engaged in prostitution. The report comes days after it was revealed that Joel Greenberg, a former Florida tax collector indicted in the Justice Department's investigation as possible sex crimes, that also includes Gaetz. So I think Gaetz is in for some serious issues because, you're getting all kinds of stuff stacked up against you. So you may not be free for long. Says Greenberg told investigators that he and Gaetz encountered multiple women who were given monetary payments or gifts in exchange for sex. Gaetz has denied any wrongdoing, and what's that? Rock hitmaker Jim Steinman. Oh no, Jim Steinman's dead. That's a shame. He was the guy that worked with Meatloaf. So anyway, Gaetz has faced increasing calls to resign over the allegations, though he's repeatedly vowed not to step down, and the Republicans have said they will wait to see if any charges are filed before leveling any punishment. I guess we'll see if he's truly guilty or not. But, yeah, it definitely concerns me. I would, of course, I'd be more concerned if I catch this here. There we go. All right. Just looking here to see if any last minute ones came in that I want to see. Okay, so that's that. Then we got, I don't have the update on this now. I should probably, we'll do it. Okay. Texas shooting suspect Stephen Broderick was the ex-sheriff's detective. So this was a shooting that happened over the weekend, I think. And originally there was 3 people, I think there were 3 dead and 3 people hurt. And they found that the person that did this was a sheriff's, ex-sheriff's detective. So that's, to me, interesting. And I don't know if this is going to be updated, so we'll have to see here. It says here, the suspect on the Texas shooting that left 3 dead on Sunday is a former sheriff's office detective who'd been charged with sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl. Stephen Nicholas Broderick, 41, who is still being sought in the deadly shooting. Let's see if we have an update on him. Because I would think that by now, because this was days ago, I don't remember. Let's see if we got anything on it. Let's see. Here we go, earlier today. says here, former Sheriff Stephen Nicholas Broderick arrested after fatal shootings of 3 in Austin. So I guess they did catch him. Says the vast, tense manhunt across the state for a former sheriff's deputy suspected of killing 3 people in a shooting rampage ended Monday on a quiet rural road a few miles from the scene of the carnage. The shooting spree Sunday was the latest of several across the nation. We've had quite a few shootings, if you think about it, just in the past week, including 1 hour earlier in Kenosha, Wisconsin, which left 3 people dead. The mass killings have claimed 4 or more American lives every week for the past 6 weeks. Stephen Nicholas Broderick was arrested in nearby Manor after authorities received 2 911 calls around 7:30 a.m. about a man walking along the road. Now, Broderick is only 41. But, says here, Manor Police Chief Ryan Phillips, who released a video of the arrest, said Broderick had a pistol in his waistband when apprehended. So, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if they knew him. They didn't know at the reason when I did this article why. It says interim Austin Police Chief Joseph Chocoa described Sunday's shooting as a domestic violence. Chacon and the shootings were not random, that Broderick knew the victims, 2 men and a man. The Eagan School District on Monday identified the victims as Alyssa Broderick, a student in the district of from 2009 to 2020, and Willie Simmons, a senior at Elgin High School. Both were described as bright and athletic. Simmons had committed to play football at the University of North Texas last year. We're heartbroken by the news of the senseless tragedy, and we extend our deepest condolences to the families. And Broderick faced charges of sexual assault before the shooting. Records show he spent more than 2 weeks behind bars before posting bail in June. So, it'll be interesting. It says here Broderick had 2 children with Amanda Broderick and filed for divorce after his arrest in June. Records show Stephen Broderick is a former Travis County Sheriff's Office detective who started to work with the department in March 16, 2008. And on March 12, 2013, Broderick was one of 2 officers involved in a shooting and critically injuring an elderly man. He was placed on administrative leave with pay pending an investigation. Broderick, a property crimes detective, resigned after his arrest last year on child sexual assault charges. You wonder what's going on in that little head of his, or big head of his. So, yeah. I mean, his wife was fearing for safety. He was required to surrender firearms. And I don't know. Guys like that are scary. They really are loose cannons. So, I don't know. But, you know, we've got these people out there, and I don't know. All right, next. What do I do? Okay. All right. I said about the shooting in Wisconsin. Here's the information on that. Because there's shootings going all over the place. I almost thought these, because they happened around the same time, I get the one that said 3 people and I get another one that said 3 people, and I thought that was going to be the same one, and then it wasn't. So it's like all these are coming at once. Got to shoot 3 people. That's the magic number now. All right. Hey, let's hear her talk about it. Hey, I want to hear you guys talk about it.
Families of the victims say they are heartbroken to lose their loved ones. This, as a neighbor's surveillance camera, helps tell the story of exactly what happened. Fox 6's Sam Kramer live in Summers tonight. And Sam, many of those friends and family members rushed to the scene early this morning.
Yeah, Mary, they say the Summers House Tavern was their favorite bar to go to as a way of avoiding trouble. Tonight, friends and family say it's tough to put into words exactly how they feel without getting a proper chance to say goodbye. From Beyond the Crime Scene tape Sunday afternoon, Azriel Rash is still processing what happened just hours earlier.
They had no hate towards nobody. They didn't hate anybody. It sucks because our city's falling apart.
Rash and her friends identifying the 3 deadly victims as Kevin Donaldson, Cedric Gaston, and Akeen Stevenson.
How could you take somebody from his family, man? Like, I don't understand, man.
They are the most kind-hearted, kid-loving spirit. It's just so hard to explain because they were just so. They loved everybody. They loved everyone, even if they didn't know you.
The shooting happened right across the street from Peter Pulaski's house, just as he was going to sleep.
Look out my window and I see gunfire going on over here. I see people running in every direction possible, people screaming, people laying on my lawn.
His surveillance cameras provide a look across the street as the shooting spilled outside the bar.
Right up here, you'll see some flashes going on, and it seems like they were kind of running around a truck, taking shots at each other.
He says there's relief in knowing the Kenosha County Sheriff's Department has a person of interest in custody. But as the community gathers to remember those that have died, Rash says an arrest doesn't change what happened here.
It gives them closure to know that they're safe. But it hurts my heart to know that they're gone and he's here.
That's a shame.
Now
That just is such a shame.
I heard from a number of other neighbors that said, yes, they were shocked to hear the gunfire, but they also fear that as a society we're becoming desensitized to this type of gun violence. Again, that person of interest is expected to face additional charges following more investigation. We're live tonight in Summers. Sam Kramer, Fox 6 News.
All right.
Oh, man. What's our world coming to? I just don't know. You hear this stuff and it's insane. Anyway, all right, let's go on to the next one. Let's see. That's the rest of that one. All right. All right, this one here. All right, what is that? Delete. Okay. So FedEx, the FedEx shooter. Why a red flag didn't stop the FedEx shooter Brandon Hull from obtaining rifles. So this guy was, displaying issues, and they, in general, stop you from buying guns and stuff. But here's why the red flag law didn't stop the FedEx shooter Brandon Hull from obtaining rifles. First off, you can buy them at a gun show, and nobody would ever check your stuff. And so if you buy person to person, you can get away without getting it switched over or have the waiting period. Public records suggest that the gunman behind the federal FedEx massacre was legally able to obtain 2 rifles, even after having another gun taken away last year, because he never had a competency hearing. Under Indiana's so-called red flag law, authorities are supposed to seek court intervention when they confiscate guns, and believe that returning them to a person would constitute a threat and a bid to keep the guns out of the wrong hands. The measure is also known as Jake Lard Law, in memory of the Indianapolis cop who was killed by a mentally ill man after his guns were returned to him. But Brandon Hull, the 19-year-old behind the Thursday's bloodbath at the FedEx facility he used to work at, was apparently never the subject of such a hearing. Even though he had been involved in a weapons case and mental issues that involved the FBI last year. Indianapolis told the Post on Sunday they were investigating the situation. We're looking into this matter. Well, he's dead now, so I don't really think that it's really... It says here on March 3rd, 2020, Hull had a brand new shotgun taken away from him when his mom called 911, saying that he expressed a desire to commit suicide. A police record for the incident states that cops seized the shotgun from the dangerous person and that Hull was taken to custody for immediate mental health hold. It's a lot of words. It says here, I lost it now. Let's see here. Police record for the incident states that the cops seized a shotgun from a dangerous person, and Hull was taken into custody for an immediate mental health hold. Under the state's red flag law, cops are supposed to file an affidavit with the court when a firearm is taken, explaining why the person who had it is dangerous. The gun owner has a right to a hearing no later than 14 days after the seizure. After the hearing, it says here, if the court rules that the person is dangerous, law enforcement is allowed to keep the firearm and the gun's license to carry is suspended. I don't know. Something didn't work. There were people that died because of it. But what can you do about it? It's just sucky. There are those people in this world that are going to do what they can to harm others. That's just the way it is. And there's nothing any of us can do about it. All right, now we're at... Okay, close that. Close it. Yeah, that's the same article. Oh, this is really odd. So that same shooter was obsessed with My Little Pony. I don't know what the correlation is. I find a 19-year-old that, male or female, but particularly male, that is obsessed by My Little Pony at 19. That's a problem. It says here, the man who shot up the Indianapolis FedEx facility and killed 8 people was reportedly part of a bizarre internet subculture obsessed with My Little Pony. Post on 19-year-old Brandon Hull's since taken down Facebook page appear that he indicated he was a member of the Bronies community, a group of mostly adult men who are extreme fans of the Kitty toys and animated television show. Some members are sexually attracted to the characters, while the group also has allegedly displayed far-right tendencies. I hope that I can be with Applejack in the afterlife. My life has no meaning without her, Hull wrote in his Facebook. Thursday, just less than an hour before his rampage began. The post included a photo of Applejack, a blonde pony that has a main character on the show. The Brony is a mashup of bro and pony, and the group has a history of extremist tendencies. Brony online culture has displayed elements of far-right and white national extremist. Facebook stopped short of saying Hull's pony love had anything to do with the shooting, writing in the memo that there was no clear evidence it motivated the massacre. Hull, a former employee of FedEx, opened fire in the facility before turning the gun on himself. And of course, nobody knows why he did it. And they'll probably never know because, he's dead. Can't really ask him. Not taking any calls. All right. Next. This was, oh boy, I read this and I thought, wow, that'd be really, really sucky. Chicago's drive-in, McDonald's drive-in through turns into a horror scene after a 7-year-old girl
After a
shot.
truck hit me, John Mooney got the insurance company to pay half.
It says here, Chicago's cop. Now this is such a weird thing because the child, obviously never did anything to deserve that. But yeah.
Tim, the video does appear to show Adam Toledo with his hands up and unarmed in that moment before he was shot.
Now this is still gaining.
How will your client claim that this was self-defense?
Good morning. Good evening, Laura. So, Laura, that is not what the video shows. And the thing is the officer had received information. And
we talked about this last week, and this is another view in the video. Actually, we didn't see the view before, but this is the view of one of the cameras.
Make no mistake about this. Mr. Roman was a Latin King gang member, okay? He was involved in a drive-by shooting that had gone on less than 50 seconds earlier. These officers responded. They located Mr. Roman. Mr. Roman, the juvenile, began to flee. The officer followed. The officer gave him multiple verbal commands. The officer told him to drop the gun. The officer told him, this is Chicago police. Mr. Roman got to that fence, and as he turns, he's got a gun, a handgun, a semi-automatic handgun in his right hand. And by the way, that semi-automatic handgun, the ballistics to where the shot spotter went off and located the bullets, it matches. At this point, the officer has no cover. He has no concealment. He sees this gun, and he sees this individual turning towards him. At this point, the officer needs to make a split-second decision. And this is the hardest part. These officers need to make split-second decisions of life and death. And he made a decision that was consistent with the Chicago Police General Orders Use of Force Guidelines and with the law.
Now, here's what the attorney for Adam Toledo's family said about your client.
The officer screamed at him, "Show me your hands." Adam complied, turned around. His hands were empty when he was shot in the chest. If you're shooting an unarmed child with his hands in the air, it is an assassination.
The word assassination, your reaction?
Yeah, I guess she must have been absent that day they taught law in law school. If you peruse the Graham v. Connor, which is the seminal case, it says that we should not look at these types of deadly force incidences through 20/20 hindsight. We need to look at it through the perspective of the police officer. I am going to be very curious to see what is the wound course of that round that went into this poor kid. And by the way, Laura, how come nobody's going and talking to the Latin Kings? Why has the police officer become the villain in this case? The Latin Kings are the ones that recruited him, branded him with a tattoo, and then had him out there in the middle of the night shooting at passing by cars. Suddenly, we all got no curiosity about what's going on with that. We're vilifying a very good police officer.
Well, at first, it seemed like Mayor Lori Lightfoot was, essentially siding with the police in this case. But then as the furor continued to build, her tone changed and she became the same old person who never misses an opportunity to attack the police.
We live in a city that is traumatized by a long history of police violence and misconduct.
Aggressive, defund the police groups, they're taking over. And what they're going to do is they're going to destroy our cities and make our cities unlivable when they take away the ability of the police officers to defend us.
They want to nationalize the police, so there is no more local policing. The ultimate goal is to disband it all. That's their goal, to nationalize all of it. Take all the authority away from localities. Tim, thank you for being here tonight, and come back as the story develops.
That bothers me too to a certain degree, because you just don't know.
Oh boy.
I'm concerned about it because the man got shot by a police officer because he had a gun. That's it. End of story. So, if the guy didn't have a gun or gave up the gun, then there's a different story to tell here. But I don't care if he was 13 or 25 or 60. If you've got a gun, and it's an automatic gun, you're not supposed to have automatic guns, and you're a cop, and you see that, you just gotta think about this from a different perspective. So, now why is this not recording on Facebook? This thing's driving me crazy. I just don't even know anymore. I keep thinking that we were recording at the YouTube. It says not receiving enough to maintain. Well, why was that? See, I told you I was having problems with my stream today. It seems like I'm still having problems with that stream. The amount of throughput. Facebook's getting the throughput, but the other three are not doing as well. I don't know why that is. So, that's kind of weird. I'm gonna try this again though. Trying to see if this is going to start up again. Oh, come on. Well, it's taking a long time to stop the stream. There's one of them gone. The other two got to stop so that I can start these streams up again and see if it gets a better stream this time. They drive me crazy because I just am so tired of having issues. Well, now it's starting up again and they're all red. Now they're red like they're supposed to be. I just don't even know. The stream stuff, if I had the technology to run this without needing the other people, I would do it. So, alright. Done with this. Now let's go back over here. Alright. Everybody's got to sue for something, right? Well, Nintendo's suing too. Nintendo sues Bowser for violating copyright with Switch hacks. Kind of funny when you think about it. Bowser was one of the characters in Nintendo, or in Mario Brothers. What's this? Stream 2 is disconnected. Well, that's my Twitch. Why would that happen? Huh. Oh, what's that? Now which one? Stream 1 could not connect. What the freak is going on? Stop streaming already. Something's going on over there. Don't know what it is. Anyway, so we'll talk about Bowser again. Alright, there we go with that. Oh, I guess we already did that. Alright. I'm going to try to start these streams one more time on this other machine. Okay, all the streams appear to be working, but are they? Can't find it. Oh, what the fuck? I don't even know if it worked or not. What is going on there? See if the other ones are working. Well, stream 1 isn't working. Why would that be? I just don't even understand. It's gonna crash. Looks like it's gonna crash. All for one stream. Alright, let's see here. We'll just continue with this. Nintendo is taking its animosity towards the Bowsers, not to be confused with browsers, one step further. It says here, is it going to work or isn't it? I don't even know. Start one. There's one. It's red. Now number 2. You going to be red? I don't know. All right. Anyway, it says Polygon has learned that Nintendo sued Gary Bowser, a leader in the Switch hacking group Team Executor, for allegedly violating copyright for making and selling hacks. Law enforcement had already arrested Bowser in the fall, but the company hoped the suit would punish the leader for both the copyright violation and 2 counts of trafficking. So that makes you wonder. I mean, just think about this. I remember a long time ago where a friend of mine was being sued by Dish Networks because he was supposedly hacking their signal, and he could go to jail and be fined like $5,000 or $15,000, I don't know, $1,000. But I was thinking about that. He would be going to jail for watching TV. This guy is going to jail for playing games. Oh, selling hacks to the games, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, just kind of scary when you think about you can go to jail for anything nowadays. But it says here, much of the lawsuit is focused on Bowser reportedly running an international pirate ring and distributing the Switch-oriented hacking tools SX Core, SX Lite, and SX Pro. While some critics have argued that bootlegs are helpful for preserving games, Team Executor has been selling the SX Suite for profit, something that hurts its chances. If successful, Nintendo would shut down Bowser's operation and extract damages of $2,500 for each trafficked device. So, yeah, plus $150,000 per copyright violation. Safe to say that financial penalties would incapacitate the Team Executor, even if it remained in business. So, it's a lot of stuff to think about if you're one of them traffickers. I would hate to even think about that stuff. That's some hefty stuff, hefty money that is involved. And these people, you know, they're pretty serious about keeping their copyrights and stuff. The law reflects Nintendo's history of cracking down on hacks and on any other tools that would enable piracy. It's not completely surprising that the company would be so aggressive, mind you. Nintendo is even more dependent on software sales than rivals like Microsoft and Sony, as its predecessors are often tied to the latest games and franchises like Mario or Zelda. However, much damage piracy really does to Nintendo's bottom line. The lawsuits make its clear stance and discourage bootleggers. So, I don't know how much bootlegging goes on in cartridge games, or I guess in the CD games it's a lot easier. Come to think of it, there probably aren't cartridge games anymore. I was thinking about that. All right. Yeah, that's some big bucks though. All right, next. Yeah, this next story. Gotta be careful where you put your burritos. TSA finds a lump of crystal meth inside of traveler's breakfast burrito. Oh boy. I definitely would not want to get in trouble for meth. Everybody is, thinking that that's the evil drug. Actually, my brother was doing meth, and it really did mess him up, for a couple of years. But he got in trouble for it, too. Anyway, that's quite a call, quite a wake-up call. A traveler at a Texas airport got caught trying to smuggle crystal meth into a breakfast burrito. TSA agents at the William P. Hobby Airport in Houston noticed the bulging burrito during a routine X-ray in the passenger's carry-on luggage on April 2nd. After spotting the unidentified lump in the burrito, agents asked the person to swap it for a closer inspection. But the passenger insisted it was just a breakfast burrito. Agents again requested the burrito be unwrapped, and when the traveler complied, they noticed something dark and unusual. After scanning the burrito a second time, the TSA officers saw black tape and dark wrapping around the large organic mass. The breakfast burrito that contained drugs. It was just, I wonder what people were thinking. Suspected it was some kind of illegal substance, the agents called Houston police, who confirmed the mass was actually meth. Cops confiscated the contraband and arrested the traveler, who was not publicly identified in the statement. According to the local news outlet, it appears the burrito might have actually been a taco from Papa's Barbecue, which has an outpost inside the airport's main terminal. Oh, people. You can't not do your drug for just the time it takes you to fly from one place to another. Unless you're just trying to sell some drugs there, too. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of drugs, drug runner's cat caught trying to sneak narcotics into Panama prison. Man, have your pets do your dirty work for you. Yeah, I think about the lengths people go to do things. A drug runner's fluffy white cat was caught trying to smuggle narcotics into a prison in Panama. The feline was carrying a contraband in a pouch tied around its neck, and it was stopped outside the Nuevo Esperanza prison in a province of Colon on Friday. The animal had a cloth around its neck that contained wrapped packages of white powder leaves and vegetable matter. Substance were likely cocaine and marijuana. Just crazy stuff. Again, just think how much time he got put in on his sentence because he was caught. Just crazy stuff. See here. This is insane. So this math teacher got in trouble for having oral sex with a teenager. So when she gets out of jail, she decides she has to go back for more. The married math teacher who had oral sex with her teen girl student is tossed back in jail for trying to contact the girl. I just don't understand. There's no sex in the world that's worth going into jail for, in my eyes. But yet, these people are still playing it. I don't know. I don't understand. Who can be that horny that they have to risk going to jail to get their rocks off. I mean, I would rather not get my rocks off and stay out of jail. And she's not an ugly girl. It's not like she can't get girls or boys or whatever. But, you know, people are just crazy. It sucks because these, you know, you're worried about, if you have kids, you're worried about predators going after your kids. And usually you would think it would be a man, and it's not because it's, you know, in this particular case, a woman, a teacher. That's just, it doesn't make sense why. Former teacher Lisa DeFleury was charged with 10 counts of second-degree sexual abuse. I don't really know that it's sexual abuse. I think that there's got to be a better term than that, unless the person she was with didn't want it. So, I don't know. But, if this is true, maybe she should be put in jail for a long, long time. She is listed as an English teacher for the 10th grade on the school's website. Married teacher and coach, 31, jailed on suspicion of repeated sex abuse. It says here that the Thurston High School had Lisa DeFleury teaching math before she was arrested for sex crimes. Immediately after she was charged with sexually molesting a student, she was placed on administrative leave. Now, the student was 10. No. How old was the student? It says the reported molested the girl 10 times. Doesn't say how old. We just know that she was under 18. So, I don't know. That's one of those, you need to know all the things, but we know that it's wrong that she actually slept with or had sex with any of her students. It was wrong either way, regardless of how old she was. But people are going to do what they're going to do. And I just can't imagine, like, how bad you must have to really want it. So, all right. New York Police Department confiscates scary T-shirt that T-shirt gun, so that they have a Hummer, and on the top they have a T-shirt gun mounted on this Hummer. Oh, this world is just insane. You know, I think about it. We're talking about a guy who had a T-shirt gun mounted on his Hummer. I just don't even understand what is going on. I mean, I realize he thinks it's pretty cool. But when you see a gun like that on a car, that's scary. And I guess he's a rapper. A rapper and fashion mogul out of Philly found out in the streets of New York are no place for a Hummer with a roof-mounted long gun, even if it's just an air rifle that shoots T-shirts. Oh, man. You would think that was... What? I didn't do it already, did I? Yes, I did. I don't know how, but it says I did it. The officers took note of the designs plastered on the side of the military green vehicle, a trio of yellow bullets and the words War Child and Wardrobe. The New York Police Department pulled the Hummer over at West 16th Street, where Stoney, who had two passengers, told them Wardrobe is his clothing company. It's a company-owned vehicle used to launch T-shirts during promotional events. Unmoved, cops hauled Stoney, a New Jersey resident, and his passengers to the Midtown South precinct, where he was ticketed for unlawful possession of an air rifle. The device was removed from the Hummer and vouchered as evidence. A process the bummed out rapper sullenly documented on his Instagram. I'm sorry to say that the New York Police Department is about to confiscate the Canon off his truck. It's crazy right now, and they're taking it. No word whether the cops got at least a t-shirt for their trouble, or if so, what caliber the shirt is. That's funny. All right. What else we got here? Oh, we finished that. Oh, no. Well, I should wrap this up. I didn't realize it was that late already. All right, let's see. What are we going to finish it with? We should do this. The last thing I'll talk about tonight. It is, there was a Tesla accident. No one was driving the car. 2 men dead after fiery Tesla crash. And it was a pretty bad crash. But you know, the thing is that you aren't using the car the way it was intended. A Memorial Hermann doctor has been identified as one of 2 men killed when Tesla they were in crashed into a tree. The accident made national headlines because local officials investigating the accident said no one was driving the vehicle. And that's true. No one was driving the vehicle. And that's what scares me. A lot of things like that hurt Tesla in that they didn't do anything wrong. Tesla didn't do anything wrong. The people did. They didn't have anybody driving the vehicle or sitting in the driver's seat. So makes you think that maybe there's more to this story. But the accident made national headlines because local officials investigating the accident said no one was driving the vehicle. The crash happened at 11:25 p.m. Friday in the Carlton Woods section near the Woodlands. The car burst into flames after hitting a tree at 18 Hammock Dunes Place. Harris County Precinct 4 Constable Mark Herman told the KPRC2 that the investigation showed no one was driving the fully electric 2019 Tesla when the accident happened. There was a person in the passenger seat of the front car, but the rear passenger, there was one in the rear passenger seat too. One of those men has been identified, and it looks pretty horrific. Harris County Constable Precinct 4 deputies said that the vehicle was traveling at a high speed when it failed to negotiate a cul-de-sac and ran off the road and hit the tree. KPRC 2 reporter Devin Clark spoke to one man's brother-in-law who said he was taking the car out for a spin with his best friend. So the two were, there were just 2 in the vehicle. The owner said he backed out of the driveway and then he may have hopped in the back only to crash a few hundred yards down the road. Said the owner was found in the back seat. See, these people just don't think. The brother-in-law said one of the victims said the relatives watched a car burn for 4 hours, and authorities said they used 32,000 gallons of water to extinguish the flames because the vehicle's batteries kept reigniting. At one point, Herman said the deputies had to call Tesla to ask them how to put out the fire. It says they'll do autopsies on both men. So here's a traffic statement. NHTSA is aware of the tragic crash involving a Tesla vehicle outside of Houston. NHTSA has immediately launched a special crash investigation team to investigate the crash. Okay. We are actively engaged in law enforcement and Tesla to learn about more of the details of the crash, and we'll take appropriate steps when we have the information. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, tweeted about the crash Monday, and this is the most important part. The data logs recovered showed that the autopilot was not enabled, and the car did not, the owner of the car did not purchase full self-driving. This doesn't make sense. There are safety measures in place with the autopilot seat weighted to make sure that there is a driver and hands on the steering wheel every 10 seconds after it engages. Autopilot doesn't seem to go over the speed limits, so it's impossible. Please research. It says Elon Musk answered the question. He said, your research as private individuals is better than professionals. Data logs recovered so far show autopilot was not enabled, and the car did not purchase FSD, which is full self-driving. Although standard autopilot would require lanes to turn on, which this street didn't have, which explains why it wrecked, So, I think we'll hear more stuff about that. They're going to find a way to sue Tesla, the way people always do. But there was nobody driving the car. That freaks me out. Because they tell you got to touch the wheel and all that stuff. So I don't know why it would have run. Anyway, all right. With that, I'm going to wrap this up. And sorry I got done so late, but that's the way it is sometimes. I'll see you next week. Hi, Pupper Dog.